Hi, everybody, and a warm welcome to you. We are live in the show. Welcome to the Drive Your Business live stream with myself, Lucille Devine. My special guest this morning is Jennifer Jones, and she's going to talk to us all around styling. It's so exciting, and this is one of the elements that we often forget about, especially as business owners. And I don't know about you, put your hands up and give me a like down there. If you're one of those people that kind of open up your wardrobe and stare at the array of clothes that you have, and you often say to yourself, I don't know what to wear. If you are that kind of person, let us know. Don't forget to say hi down below in the comments, and we're going to start the show shortly. Hello, we're back. Okay, I'm going to introduce Jennifer Jones. As I said, she's all around styling, how to dress yourself for success, and how to show up as your brand. So a warm welcome to you, Jennifer. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Lucille. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here.
Oh, fantastic. It's such a pleasure to have you. You know, when we first met, and again, I met Jennifer in a group that I'm involved in, and we just started talking. Actually, we met on a network thereafter. Yeah. And as I was chatting to her, it became very real for me, because what often happens as entrepreneurs or business owners is we go out into the world and we never know if what we're wearing is right for what we're doing. You know, especially if we arrive and we have to pitch for a job or we have to close that deal, we sometimes question what we're dressing in, and we also sometimes feel unconfident. So Jennifer, tell us a little bit about your background. Tell us about your story. How did you stumble upon becoming a stylist?
Sure, thank you. So I've been styling for about 5 years now, but previous to that, I was always in a corporate setting. So worked for big corporate companies, doing a range of roles, but mostly kind of communications, marketing, working with some of the top kind of leaders in the businesses on their communications, how they came across to the employees, and working on their personal brand, I guess, to an extent as well. Okay. And sometimes that involved styling. Sometimes there was the odd question of what should I wear tomorrow for this meeting, so we'd have that conversation. But that was way before I even kind of started styling. So yeah, I just discovered that actually I had a natural flair for it. I was a brilliant listener. That was a huge thing that I knew I did well in my job. And I always wanted to do something, have my own business, do something that I absolutely loved and I was passionate about. And I kind of fell out of love with working in a corporate setting. So did some soul searching, discovered that I was the go-to person when it came to borrowing clothes, asking what to wear. I was always shopping in my spare time, much to my husband's not too happy about that, but now he's happy I spend other people's money versus my own.
That's perfect.
Yeah, a bit of a shopaholic, but trying to dig deep, like what I love, what I was passionate about, and that shopping just kept coming back up. So yeah, I looked into what I could do, how I could set up my own business, and I went for it. I started styling other people, got as much experience as I could, did some training, thought about my brand in particular, what I wanted to be known for. There's a lot of us stylists about. There's a celebrity stylist. There's a lot of personal stylists like myself. There's people who work for other companies in editorial styling. But I really wanted that one-to-one, that listening side of things, understanding my clients and helping them feel good. So I'm all about helping women and a lot of mums too, busy mums, working mums who have their own business, helping them feel good about what they're wearing and feel empowered with what they wear. So that was a huge focus for me. And it works naturally because I'm a great listener. I love to help women. That's where I get my kind of passion for it and how I feel good about what I do. So yeah, that's how my personal brand came about. I guess in terms of what I wear for my personal brand, I make sure that it's just authentic to me. So when I'm
and
working with a
beautiful.
client, when I'm working with a client, I want to make sure that what they're wearing, yes, it's right for their setting, it's right for their environment, it's right for their business, but also it's got to be right for them as well. There's no good wearing something you don't feel comfortable in, doesn't feel like you. So for me, the big one to dress for your brand and feel authentic is to make sure it's right for you and feel good in what you're wearing. So that's a huge part of my brand too.
So I love the fact, and I'm going to put on a couple of points as you're talking, because again, it just uncovers some of the journeys that we as entrepreneurs go through. One of the main things that you said is that you fell out of love with your corporate job. And I can't tell you how many women that I'm encountering right now that feel exactly the same. It's almost like they feel like they've come to a dead end because there's no more passion that actually drives them. And the fact that you took one of your talents, which is shopping, right? and the love of shopping, and you molded that into a business and into a brand. And yes, in the beginning, you probably were trying to find your feet and find your steps, but you eventually came to a point where you were working in a process where you now are spending your clients' money and advising them on how to dress for their own brand and business. And not only that, how to show up authentically. And that kind of takes those various skills and talents and puts them right into the center and the core of what you're doing as a business. So I commend you with that. And I love the way that you've explained that, because a lot of us do feel, and when we get to that point, when we come to corporate, it becomes you almost like a number, if I could say that, and your job becomes unfulfilling. And then what starts to happen is when you identify your talents and what you absolutely love doing, that kind of sets you apart. And I love that you processed this, because yes, your hubby was, I beg your pardon, your hubby was absolutely upset with you that you were spending money, but you worked through a process where you could actually then offer this as a service. And now you're advising your clients and you're helping them spend their money wisely and show up authentically. Beautiful. So if you're watching, I see that we've got a couple of more people on. A warm welcome to you. You're watching the Drive Your Business live stream. And my guest today is Jennifer Jones, and she's going to talk to us all about styling. She just shared her story, her personal story on how she developed her own brand. And I think it is so classic. It's beautifully put together and it's authentic as well. I think that's so important. Not only did she step out of corporate, but she identified her talents and boldly walked into that passion and purpose. And now she's living a purposeful lifestyle. She's doing what she wants. Tell me, with regards to having your own business, do you have your own freedom when it comes to time?
Yes, absolutely. And that, to be honest, that was a driver to have my own business. I started this business before I had my son, so before I had a family, but I always knew the plan was to eventually have a family if we could. So I wanted to have that balance in my life and be able to work in something that I loved and enjoyed, but also make time for family in the way that I want to, and basically be flexible so that I can do what I like. And this job is perfect for that. I can fit my clients in certain days. I can have days off during the week with my son. And that, you talked about kind of evolving your brand. And certainly for me, when I had my son, he's 19 months old, so he's still very small, that changed my brand again. So that definitely developed it, in that I noticed I was spending more time with mums, as in clients. And so I obviously gone through the same experience in terms of having a child. My body shape had changed. My lifestyle is manic, which I don't think you realize before you have children how crazy it can get. So I completely understand my clients more now. And so my brand has evolved in that way too, in that I now talk directly to mums in terms of my brand. That's who I'm working with the most. And I guess that's my niche now. But that wasn't ever the plan in the beginning. That's just how things have evolved over time. But certainly it's flexible. It's fantastic for that. I find myself not being able to get the balance sometimes when I'm with my son. I'm checking my phone now and again, but I'm doing very, very well to put the phone down. I'm trying to put the phone down and make sure I have that quality time with him, and also then focus my business on certain days. So it's great flexibility.
Well, again, that's also perfect, because again, not only did you go through the process and you evolved the brand, but what's very critical is that, again, you you understood yourself as the person. And isn't it so funny that you identify yourself as your first client, and then you kind of then attract the same type of person, the person that you were before you even thought about the bringing the brand to life. And I love that. I love that you explained that as well, because most of us don't understand that part. We often think we're alone or isolated with the problem or the challenge that we are facing. But in actual fact, it's not the truth. There's other women out there, there's other clients out there that are ideally going through the same motion that you are and looking for a solution to it. So I love that you tapped right in and you jumped right in there, because you quickly identified your hero customer, like I like to call it, because they are part of your journey. They become the hero of your story as well. So that's beautiful. All right, I see we got a couple of more people that have popped on. A warm welcome to you. If you want to ask any questions, this is an interactive live stream. Go ahead, ask any questions down below, and we'd absolutely love to acknowledge you as well. So say hi, let us know where you are watching from. We always like to do to see where you're watching from as well. It just makes it easier for us to connect with you as well. All right, so let's carry on with a couple of questions, especially when it comes to the business now, and this is one of the key things that I think a lot of us need help with. And, as a business owner, and especially in your own business, and I'd like you to talk from that aspect, is what are the latest trends? Should we be dressing fashionably all the time? What's your take when it comes to this, and what are the trends? What is fashionable? How should we show up?
So for me, when I'm working with a client and for myself, I think it's really important that actually being aware of trends is great, because then you know what could maybe work for you. But actually understanding your style is the number one priority first before you start looking at fashion trends. Because they change, they come back around, as we know, they change all of the time, different influences. But that doesn't mean, there could be a number of trends every year, different years, and that doesn't mean they will work for you. So it's definitely being mindful of, okay, I'm up for trying this new trend. I love the look of it, but is it going to work for me? So there's that part in terms of thinking about whether you should invite trends into your wardrobe, or whether you should walk on by, because actually that's not going to work for you. So the big trend right now, and that's definitely because of the impact the last year has had with COVID, is about oversized, comfy pieces. So we'll see that, I think, for a few years now. People have got comfy. People have been at home, stretchy waistbands. They're like, why would I change? Why would I go back from this? And certainly that is reflective in the fashion industry as well. So a lot of brands are introducing comfort, which is great because we should be comfortable, but also maybe making them a bit more stylish. So not necessarily wearing your loungewear, but having some maybe light, wide leg trousers, which are really in at the moment, and which are a bit more comfy, a bit more loose, a bit more practical, not necessarily skin tight in terms of figure hugging, and those oversized pieces. But for me, in order for that to work for the right person and in your brand as well, you need to style it in a way that works for your body shape. So that's where the kind of understanding your body shape works.
Okay.
So you could have some oversized pieces. You could have an oversized shirt or jumper, some kind of stretchy waistband, wide leg trousers. Everything's quite baggy in your look, but being able to tuck it in the right place, being able to position the outfits and the styles that you're wearing in the right way for your body shape can help massively. It can just help you feel good, so you're not kind of feeling swamped by everything you're wearing, but also feel comfortable. So get that balance between the two can work really nicely. The other thing as well that's really in, and to be honest, I don't think it's ever gone away necessarily, it's just highlighted now and again and comes back pretty much every kind of other year, is wearing more of a blazer with a casual piece. So in business, it can be really hard. Yeah, it can be really hard to have this smart casual balance in business. I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, well, my casual days are this, and my work days, especially if you were in a corporate environment previously, are this outfit. So how do I merge the two to get that smart casual balance? So for me, it's introducing that smart piece, like a blazer that you might have worn, but actually throwing it over a floaty dress if that style's right for you, so that you've got that mixture. You feel smart enough to enter an environment where you might have to pitch for something, but equally you still feel casual because you're not suited and booted and you're not too formal in your look. So that's certainly something you can absolutely play with as well.
Okay.
Does that
Fantastic.
make sense?
Absolutely. I love the way that you're saying, bring the two together, have that casualness, but also representing your brand in a smart way by using a jacket. And that's something that I like to do. And I normally do casual bottoms, which would be denims or something like that, maybe with a small shift or court shoe, a normal t-shirt with my jacket. And, funnily enough, when I dress like that and I just accessorize with basic earrings or a ring or two, I just feel like I'm dressed and I'm ready for the success. So I love the fact that you've also brought that in. The other aspect is the trend that is happening is the kind of comfort clothing. And I'm going to admit here as well, and I'm also sitting here in my comfy bottoms and then my kind of brand shirt, which is always a good thing. But that's exactly how we've done that. I mean, this past year, we always dressed up and never down. So true.
So you can absolutely hold on to that. You can still go with maybe a smarter jogger, but a smart jogger, and then have a blouse or something that's more silky, so it's more smart, and then you've combined the two. It can be as easy as putting a casual item with a smart item, and actually then you've achieved the look. That can be an easy way of looking at it.
Okay, brilliant. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so we're not alone. I'm not the only one that does things like this, which is awesome.
No, I was doing it too.
Okay, fabulous. So I'm really not alone. All right, everybody, if you are watching, I'm interviewing today Jennifer Jones, and she's talking about styling. We've just gone through a whole session of how you can dress and show up for your brand, especially when you want to kind of close that deal or create that pitch and let people take you seriously. But moreover is how to dress for your confidence as well. Because when you're confidently dressed, you show up confidently. And I don't know, it sets that mindset, and 9 times out of 10 you get what your desire was at the end of the day. So always remember to do that. I love the fact that Jennifer has mentioned that the trend is kind of comfort, and a lot of us showed up during COVID dressed up and not down. If you were one of those, just pop in the comment down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. I'd love to hear also if you showed up on video kind of dressed up and not down. Because I think a few of us have actually done that too. Okay, Jennifer, also what I absolutely want to hone in on, and this is something that I touched on a little bit now, as well as you, when you are dressing for success and you do feel confident, what are the benefits of that versus dressing for an occasion?
So dressing with confidence. So for me, a big part of the focus when I'm working with a client is knowing your best colors. So what are those colors that make you feel awake? What are those colors that make you feel alive? What are those colors that brighten up your skin tone, kind of get rid of those dark circles we all have when we've had not a very good night's sleep? What are the colors that make your eyes sparkle, make your skin glow? Knowing those colors can help from a confidence perspective, absolutely. If you're having a day where you do feel tired, you've got a big day ahead, you can pop on the right color for you that's going to brighten everything up, and instantly that's going to give you that confidence and feel good factor. So that's a really big part of it. Then there's, of course, the body shape side of things. So understanding your body shape, understanding what styles make you feel good, when you look in the mirror, what you love the look of as well, because we all have our hang-ups. We all have bits of our bodies that we don't like looking at all the time. We're showing off in certain ways, and that's normal. That's absolutely fine. And everyone's different again. So if you know the sorts of styles that you can throw on, feel good in, but also like the look of, then absolutely that's what you want to get to for that confidence dressing. So for me, it's focusing on those two. There's also an element of style personality. So when you've put something on maybe before, you've taken something into the changing room, you've put it on and you go, oh, no, get it off. It's just not working.
I know that. Yeah.
maybe just, it might fit you really well. Yeah, but it might fit you brilliantly, but actually, and the color might be really good, but it just doesn't feel quite like you. You're like, no. So that comes straight back off again. So things like that, having pieces in your wardrobe that reflect you, that you feel good in, that feel like you, that's really important, because what that's going to do, it's going to give you that confidence, going to empower you. You're going to stand taller. You're going to hold your head up really high. You're going to probably smile a lot more if you feel good in what you're wearing and how you look. You're not going to be fiddling with things, going back to kind of the pitching or having a big meeting with someone. You're not going to feel like you're uncomfortable. You're not going to be self-conscious in any way. And so for me, that's the confidence side of things, knowing and being mindful of what works. The goal is having a wardrobe that only has those things in, so that you could get dressed, lights off, don't need to worry about that. You still look amazing and you still feel good. Because that's the ultimate thing. It's about how you feel, and your style is about how you feel. It's not always about how you look, although that has an influence. And when I'm with my clients, I'm always saying, don't worry about anyone else. This is about you. Like, what do you think? I'm obviously completely honest with my clients. That's a huge, important thing that I do in terms of my job. Yes. I have to be honest, whether I agree, whether I think they look great, whether it works for them. But I want them to see it too, because there's no good me kind of telling them and then going shopping when they're not with me. They can't have me with me all the time, as lovely as that would be. Exactly. I want them to have that feeling, see it, know the difference, so that they can make those choices. And that's going to absolutely help you dress for any occasion. So there's, of course, we talked a little bit about kind of putting on a blazer, the kind of power tie reference or phrase. You kind of call it a power tie. It's actually really true. So if you have an item of clothing like a blazer, like you said about Lucille, or you have some earrings that you love, just putting them on and using them like a power tie can give you that confidence. So that will give you the tools to dress for the occasion as well. So if you have something really important, you can put that on, because that's instantly going to give you that confidence that you need for that occasion. But you want to avoid the kind of, that's the situation, I'm walking into an environment that's not really my style, that's not going to work, but I'm going to dress like that anyway, because then that's not going to feel confident. That's not going to give you that confidence and make you feel good about what you're wearing. So you need to be aware of your situation, your environment, absolutely, so that you not blend in. We want you to stand out, really, but it depends how you feel. If you want to blend in a bit more, I understand. You don't want to stand out too much. Then absolutely,
well, there's a few of us who will want that as well. So yes, I understand.
if you're not the most confident and you don't want to be, everyone eyes on you, I understand that. So we would work to see, okay, how can we blend you in your environment in a good way, but still have you stand out or make you feel good, but also stand out so people remember you. Because there's also that piece as well about being memorable.
Exactly.
I think be aware of the occasion, but don't dress for something that's not you, because then that's not going to work. That's going to make you feel uncomfortable.
Okay, that's brilliant advice. Thank you so much, because that absolutely helps. I want to go back to what you first mentioned right in the beginning, and that's about color. Now, let's say, for instance, I have no idea what color actually suits my skin or my skin tone. And I don't know what makes my face pop or my body shape pop. I mean, what advice would you give someone with regards to that if you're starting from like really ground zero?
Apart from hiring a stylist, I'm joking. No. So if you
what practical ideas can you do?
No, it's fine. It's the easy route, of course. I can come in and tell you. But the things that you can do is there's a few elements to colour. So the idea is that we want to wear the colour that has the same undertone as our skin tone. So if you can figure out what your skin tone is in terms of your undertone to it, whether it's more cool or more warm, so more yellow or more blue, then you can actually determine what colours you should then go for, whether they have more of a yellow base or whether they have more of a blue base. So for example, if I talk about myself, I'm what I call an autumn. So I work in the seasonal colour palettes, because I think it's easy to explain to my clients. It's easy for them to picture a lovely autumnal day or a spring or a summer day versus here's all these colours you can wear and I don't really know what I'm doing kind of thing. You don't want to scare them.
That's true. Yes.
So for me, I like working in seasons for that reason. It's easy to explain, it's easy to understand. But so for example, I'm autumn. I suit lovely, warm, rustic browns, golden tones, and that's because I have a warmth to my skin tone. So I have a yellow undertone to my skin. I'm the sort of person who can, when I go on holiday or in the sunshine, not necessarily in the UK, and I actually see the sun, I can really easily, I have then a lovely olive skin tone. Whereas if you're someone who is quite sensitive to the sun, you have more of a porcelain skin tone, then you're going to be more cool in color. So you're going to react badly with the sun. I think I've lost you in terms of, I can't hear you very well, Lucille.
No, I'm still here. I'm taking notes as you talking, because it's good for me as well.
You're like, let's figure out. So yeah, if you can figure out warm or cool, then you're halfway there, because then you know what undertone you need to match. And the next part of it, it gets complex, but the next part of it, if I try and simplify it, is thinking about whether the color is muted, so soft, or whether it's quite bold, kind of brighter, clear colors. That works more with your overall look. So again, if I use myself, I'm quite soft in my look. My eyes kind of match my hair. Everything kind of blends. So I suit the softer colors. If you put a more vibrant color on me, or a bold color, a deep color, I suit the darker ones, to be fair, the deeper ones. But if really, really rich, like a black, then it's just not going to work for me. It's going to overpower me. So I need that softness in there. So everyone's different, and whether you are more deep and rich in your colouring, or whether you need that warm or cool tones, they're the big pieces to work out so that you can match the right item of clothing.
Okie dokie, that's awesome. And another thing, especially when it comes to your colors, is not only understanding that skin tone, it's also understanding what kind of suits your personality to. I love the fact that you've also said here, especially when it comes to that, if understand how you not only want to show up, but to also use those colors that best suit you, as well as your shape. Tell me a little bit about the shape, and how does that all work when it comes to styling yourself and actually dressing up for success as well?
So if you're wanting to figure out the principles around dressing for your shape, which ultimately leads to confidence, loving how you look in the mirror, then the best thing to do first of all is figure out what shape you are. So there's a number, if you Google body shapes, there's so many out there, different ones, which isn't helpful because that's confusing. But I work with 5 main ones, again, for a simple reason, just to keep it easy for my clients to understand. So you've got hourglass, you've got pear, you've got inverted triangle, rectangle, or apple. And each shape, you can be a mixture too, just to add another complication into the mix. So you're not necessarily just one. So together we would figure out what shape you are, and then I would talk about how you would dress for that shape. So for example, if you take a pear, so just a pear, not necessarily any other shapes influencing that, then you're ultimately going to be a little bit wider on your hips in comparison to your shoulders. So you're going to have more of this kind of shape where your hips kind of are just wider basically than your shoulders, but still have a defined waist. So you might, in theory, again, it's different for everyone. If you are a pear shape, you might be a little bit more aware of your hips. You might like them, you might not like them. If you don't like them, then we'd use a darker color around your hips and your bottom, and a brighter, bolder colors, or the lighter colors, depending again on what colors suit you, on your top half. So that instantly can make such a difference. But for example, if it's the other way around, if you love your hips and you want to show it off, then fantastic. We would show it off in a way that you feel comfortable. So although we're thinking about color, we're thinking about body shape, we're thinking about personality and what works for you, what feels authentic, you've then got the added challenge, and I see this a lot more with women than I do men. It just tends to be how it is. We seem to be critical of ourselves. But we'd also factor in then how you feel about certain areas of your body. So how we can minimize that area, how we can make another area that you love stand out more, so that again, when you look in the mirror, you love what you see, and that gives you that confidence. So they're the main things that I would do with a client, and most stylists I think do the same thing, because it is about them, and that's where my brand comes in, because I'm so passionate about making sure that person feels good, even if I think they look amazing at something. And I tell them that, of course, I'd be honest with them if I think they look great. If they don't feel great, then we move on, because actually there's no point. Like, I could say someone could wear bright orange and look absolutely phenomenal, but actually it scares them and they don't like it. So then we'd find a compromise that still looks great, but actually doesn't frighten them and have them kind of not wanting to leave the house. So it really depends on that person. But in terms of body shape, it can be, I'm kind of going on a tangent, aren't I? It can be color that you can use. It can be the shape. So if, for example, you were a pear, going back to a pear shape, and you could maybe potentially want to wear the wide leg trousers that are in, because actually they're going to skim your hips versus be kind of hugging your hips in any way and tight around that area. An A-line skirt would do the same thing. It's all about finding that silhouette that you feel great in. And actually then it doesn't really matter what you're wearing in terms of a dress, whether it's a skirt and top, trousers and top, jeans and a top, that could still reflect the same silhouette that you feel amazing in. So getting to that silhouette is the important bit when it comes to body shape.
Okay, wow, fantastic. These are awesome tips and tricks, especially when it comes to your body shape, because that's one of the main things that I know mature women, especially after you've had children, your body starts to develop in ways that you don't understand. And 9 times out of 10, you kind of, these things don't fit me anymore. I don't know if you were ever one, because when I had my first daughter, I remember, I used to be a size 6. And then all of a sudden, after the birth and that, because I was still holding a lot of the pregnancy weight, I slipped into a size. It was a size 12, and I was like, I was very depressed. I actually kept all of my clothes that I used to wear before, and I said to myself, one day I'm going to fit into them. And yes, especially when you are looking after your baby and that, and during those running, during the toddler phase where you're running after them, you do start to lose a lot of that pregnancy weight and whatnot. But I don't think I could ever say that I went back. I couldn't keep that closet of what I used to wear in the past. And I think that's daunting for a lot of women. And, when you're going back into business, you still want to look good and show up as a powerful woman and confidently. But sometimes you actually can't go back to the shape or the size that you were before. So, I think it's so important that we talk about shape and that we're honest about it as well. Because, it's everybody has their own challenges that they have to face, especially when it comes to body shape. And that's one of the key things. So I love the fact how you've shared it, how you've actually told us, if you want to accentuate something, then wear that lighter color. If you don't want it to stand out, wear a darker color. And the shape of whatever you're wearing as well is so important. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. All right, I do see there's a couple of more people that have popped on. A warm welcome to you. You are watching the Drive Your Business live stream. Today, my guest is Jennifer Jones, and she is talking to us all about styling. But styling is so in-depth. It's a word that we give people within Jennifer's industry with regards to how to dress confidently and whatnot, that kind of tagline. But I must admit that as she's talking, I'm really understanding that this is a deep subject. It's more to do with trust, with confidence and self-confidence, not only that, self-worth, and then outward approach as well. So, when we are getting dressed, what kind of shapes we should be wearing, how we can accentuate those, how we can accessorize those as well. So if you want to ask her any questions, please go ahead, pop a question down below in the comment section, and we'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, you can also just say hi. Love to acknowledge you if you are here. Okay, so Jennifer, let's go into another question. This is the last question in my series, but I also would like for you to let us know how we can get hold of you, because there is a point, especially in your own journey as a business owner, and there's many other entrepreneurs that are out there, small business owners, as well as influencers who don't really know how to dress correctly, or they're not too sure about their color and whatnot. So I want you to also say how we can get in touch with you. But for my question is, can you give us 3 top tips to use when we dress up to meet a new client? How can we make that first impression a memorable one? And how can we stand out? Maybe not even stand out, but how can we just appear confident when we are meeting up with a new client?
So I've got quite a few, but I'm going to try and narrow it down. It's like a few, 3 or so. So thinking about being memorable, so that certainly, I know we've touched on it a little bit, can be depending on someone's comfort zone. I like to push my clients out of their comfort zone a little bit, but it depends on the person and how far I can push it. With someone, for example, who is wearing really dark colors, I've had a client previously who literally just had black and dark grey in the wardrobe because they're wanting to blend in, they're wanting to wear dark colors, they didn't want to stand out, and to them wearing bright colors made them stand out. So again, having the factors of color, body shape and everything involved, there's also that added element, that emotional feel in terms of if someone has an attachment to a color that they think, so for example, if red for them, whether it was a dark red, bright red, or a soft red is like, oh no, I'll stand out. So, but they could look amazing in red. So for me, it would be, okay, find a way that you can introduce those amazing colors on you in a subtle way. So whether that's replacing your glasses or replacing an accessory around your face, because that's really only where color matters so much. Or wearing a scarf or using it as an accessory, just so that you can introduce it and start to feel confident with it. So if you're kind of at the bottom of your journey, you're wanting to wear more color, or you know that you should wear more color, and I come in and say, come on, let's introduce a little bit of color, then we can start off small, and then that will develop as you go, because, you know, nothing changes overnight. You have to get used to something before you're ready to push it and move on again. So color can certainly help with being memorable as well. So do you think about when you have met someone, do you think about someone, maybe I'll do this with you, Bissell. So if you think about someone who made a lasting impression on you recently, did you notice what they were wearing? Is there something about their look that you remembered about them? Can you think of anyone?
I'll go back to one of the networking events that we have gone to and attended through the group. And one of the people that I had met, I didn't notice what she was wearing, but I noticed her smile and her face. And then her personality, because as she was talking, there's certain things that she was doing that I was saying to myself, wow, yes, she's actually walking her talk. And that impressed me. So I didn't necessarily look at what she was wearing, no.
It's harder on Zoom though, isn't it? Definitely, because you're not necessarily seeing them in person. But for example, you might not have noticed that she could have been wearing an amazing color near her face that actually made her face glow more, maybe, if that's what you noticed. Yes. If you're drawing the eye upwards to your face, that's ultimately what we want to do. So if she was wearing a color that was really overpowering for her, a top or even something on the bottom half, your eyes, I know it's different on Zoom, so we'll go with the top. If it was a top that she was wearing that was too overpowering, you might have noticed the top first versus her face. So actually, you want to see her first. That's the ultimate goal. So again, that memorable piece of things, you would walk away. If you met someone who was wearing the right thing and they looked amazing in it, you might remember them. Or you might remember that actually they looked really just put together, like everything worked. Whereas if you saw someone who was wearing something that didn't work, didn't look put together, didn't look comfortable, didn't feel proud, didn't kind of stand tall, or it was slightly overpowering, you probably noticed what they're wearing more than you would have noticed them. So it's getting that balance right, certainly, but from a memorable point of view, if you want your clients to remember you, knowing how to dress that makes them see you more and actually go away thinking, wasn't she great? Didn't she look great? Like that can help them remember if you're wearing something that's memorable.
That's actually true, because I was just thinking about something last night, and I do a lot of training in the community. It's my way to give back. And one of the ladies that sets up the training, she's got blonde hair and she's very pale. She always wears very gray very basic colors. But last night, actually, when I went through and I met with her, she had a rust colored jacket with rust boots, and I don't know, it just popped her. And I actually commented on that, funnily enough, as you're talking, that's the image that came to my head. And I said to her, wow, you're looking amazing tonight. And it changed everything. Her face was lighter. So it's absolutely true what you're saying with regards to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I have a lady I know who is a bit of a coach. She's amazing at what she does. But she wears some glasses that are a bit more wacky, kind of different colors, definitely stand out. But that's what you remember about her, and it works. So you don't remember it for the wrong reasons. She looks amazing in it. You remember it for the right reasons. And actually then, even if you can't think of a name, for example, when you're telling someone, you're like, it's the lady with the glasses. And then you start that conversation. So that can really help from a brand perspective. That can really help someone stand out. As long as it's done in the right way, I think it's really good for you. So definitely bringing in that personality into your looks can also have the right impression too. Because if you're really quite creative and you work in a creative environment, you're really bubbly, you're really outgoing, you want what you wear to match that. Otherwise, similar maybe to the lady you saw, if you're seeing her in kind of dull colors, basic pieces, and it doesn't really match up with her personality, then that's not going to be the whole package. So you're not going to get that amazing first impression that you might have had if the first time you met her, she'd worn what actually worked for her. So it's interesting to hear you say about the two different examples and how the impression you went away with was so different from someone who's the same person.
Yeah, and it's exactly the same person. And that's what also struck me as you were telling me that story, was that's exactly it. She made such an impression on me last night. I even complimented her and I said to her, wow, you are looking amazing. And I think it was just that touch of color. And as soon as I did that, you could see like her whole body structure kind of changed. Because she showed up as like confidence. I don't know, it just did something to her, and it's so true with what you're saying now as I recollect that. So that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I have one more that I'd love to talk about. So the other one is something I think we talked about it before, but it's something that I do when I meet clients. So for me, in terms of my personal brand, like I said, in terms of colors, I'm soft, I'm that warmth. So I do try and wear my colors and practice what I preach when I meet my clients and when I'm working, of course. And there is, just so I don't forget, there is the element of your brand colors. Do they reflect you? Are they authentic to you as well? And should you wear them? Putting that aside, I think about what my clients are wanting to achieve. So usually with a session, I've had a consultation call. I understand what they're wanting to get to, how they're feeling about their style. I have a picture of them. I know what they look like. I know what they could wear and look amazing. I have an idea before I even meet my client, what could potentially work if it feels right for them during the session. So for me, I also have in my head before I meet my client, okay, what could I wear that day? If I plan my outfit, be a little bit organized, which helps everyone, if you're not rushing in the morning, if I think about, okay, for example, I'm meeting Lucille tomorrow. I know she loves the look of dark denim paired with a bright kind of blazer to stand out, to have that kind of corporate casual, smart casual feel. Okay, what could I wear? I have dark jeans that fit me really nicely, look great, that I'm happy with. I have a lovely blazer, might not be the same color because we're different colorings, but actually I could show up in a way that she then sees me and completely, not necessarily loves what I'm wearing. It's not about achieving that she likes what I'm wearing, my client, but it's about her saying, yes, this is what I want to get to. So you're also trying to help along the process of, you know, if it works for your style. And this is where there's a bit of a blurry line, because I obviously, all my clients have the same style as me. So if I have a client who's completely different in their look to what I would ever wear, then I don't go there. I would not dress, you know, I would not dress like we talked about dressing for occasion. I would not dress completely not right for me just to make it work for them. But if I had a client who does have a similar taste or is drawn to similar styles, then absolutely I'll be mindful that actually if I wear that on the day, that's going to help them see where they could get to. But also it creates a bond. So you've
Yes.
automatically got something to talk about. You've got a connection with your client already because
Yes.
they can see you've understood what they're trying to do. And I think certainly if you have you're meeting a new client or you're going into a pitch situation or anything like that, depending on your business, if you're aware of their environment and what they would fit in terms of what they would wear and what they would be impressed by, then you can factor that in, but only if it
That's
sort of fits for
beautiful.
you. So it's got to be careful. There's a balance, not to show off wearing something
You don't want to
crazy.
overstep the mark and say snap, and arrive exactly the same. I get what you're saying, but you're also saying be smart about this, because mirroring is a technique that you can use to close a sale. And I love the fact that you're using this in the way that you dress, in the way that you show up. If you know that that client perhaps wears casual jeans and they wear a blazer, maybe do the same, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same color.
No,
so
it's got to work
always make
for you.
sure yes, or exactly the same shirt. So you don't want to be snap twins and have a meeting with a potential client.
Who wore it best situation.
Exactly. Like, where's the boundaries here? But I love the way that you put that together, because that absolutely can help you. And it's a technique that I use, especially when I'm signing a big client, is I will mirror them. So if they're sitting at a certain stance, I'll sit at the same stance, especially when we're talking about the deal. And that helps me to close the deal, because all they're doing is they're seeing themselves reflected back in me. It builds trust very, very quickly. So I love the fact that you've actually mentioned that, because it does. That's a huge benefit. Thank you. Wow, that's amazing.
You can, I was just thinking, you can also do it with a brand shoot. So I often work with clients to help them get ready for their brand shoot. Often we'll have either a session in their home to look through the pieces that they've got already, or we'll go shopping for something new if they feel like they haven't got anything that's going to work. And actually then taking that into consideration, taking into, like you said, your hero client situation, who you want to connect with on your website, who you want to connect with through any brand photography on your social media. Again, having that element of knowing how to mirror your hero client, then that can help you with how you should dress. Again, to an extent that works for you and is right for you, but helping you in terms of your shop window can really help with what you're wearing as well.
So that's brilliant advice. Wow, that's amazing. Jennifer, we have learned so much. Thank you so much for coming on to the live stream. Really have learned a lot. I've taken down a couple of notes. I was actually voice recording as I was going, because my hands are so busy trying to keep up with everything. But thank you so much. Before we go, please, how can people get involved with you? How can they plug into what you have to offer? What do you have to offer? Let us know about that. How can we support you?
Okay, so a number of things. We're thinking about, so there's a number of parts of the business, but if we're thinking about personal styling, which is what we're obviously talking about today, then we can do personal shopping, we can do wardrobe revamps, which is looking through everything and exactly what it says in the title, revamping what's there, taking out things that maybe aren't quite you, don't make you feel good, and introducing a shopping list of the things that you do need to make your wardrobe serve you better. Also a colour and body shape rediscovery session, which is a smaller session that I offer. We look at everything we've just talked about in depth. So we look at your colours, we look at your body shape, we look at your style personality, we look at the sort of outfits that you should wear for work, for casual, how we can make that work all together, and how to build a capsule wardrobe for you and start you off in the right way. So there's those services, which are now all online. So it's not necessarily just in person. So I'm based in the southeast of England. So I cover that area, and have another stylist, Amy, who works for me, who also helps with this area. And then I have another stylist called Sana in London, and she works more the London area. It was purely because I didn't want to go to London anymore for work because of my son, that flexibility again. So I have Sana who picks up my London clients when I can't do it. So yeah, it's fantastic. That's all in person, but actually since COVID, I took everything online. So we do all these sessions via Zoom. I also have an online personal shopping session that you can do, where I put together a lookbook for you. I do it all without you, after a consultation, of course. And then we have a Zoom try-on session. So there's lots of options online. I also do personal styling training, sorry. So I have courses both online and in person, again, for someone wanting to do the job that I do. because I changed my career, because I wanted something that I feel passionate about and love, I decided I'd love to help other people do the same. So I have courses that help me get to where I am and how you do that and how you make that transition. I also do home styling, which is a fairly new part of the business. So I started helping my wardrobe clients, with one lady. I helped her with a lounge. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to do some training. So I did some interior styling training all online last year and decided, this could be a really nice fit. So I've started working with clients with their homes as well and helping them decorate and give them inspiration in terms of colour, furniture shopping. So it's fitting in really nicely there. And also events, so corporate events. So I'm doing well-being events, again, thinking about dressing for your body shape and dressing with confidence. And I have a Winchester Fashion Week, which Winchester's down near me. So we have Winchester Fashion Week where we're actually working with new mums. So mums to be, so pregnant mums, and new mums, kind of postpartum wardrobes, and helping them feel good about what they're wearing. And in a time when you don't quite feel like yourself, of course, your attention is all on the baby, and absolutely, but that self-care element of how do you look after yourself? How do you still feel like you at that point of your life? So that's really exciting.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is so brilliant. Fantastic.
To get hold of me, I have a long story short, I guess it's the website. So it's www.jenniferjonesstyling.com. Everything's on there. You can get me on Instagram, which is really easy. It's just @JenniferJonesStyling, and the same on Facebook. And for the mums out there who are busy and don't have a lot of time to themselves but want some me time, I have a Facebook group called Mums with Style. So you can find me on there as well. And that's full of top tips, a lovely community of other mums who want to help each other with their style. Basically, it turned out to be, which is fantastic, it's what I always wanted. But if someone's looking for an item, they haven't got time to go shopping, you pop it on there, and so many other mums will come and help you find the right thing or suggest some inspiration for you. So including myself, I chip in as well where I can. So it's like having your own community of stylists.
Yeah, I love that group because I actually saw one of the ladies that we follow in the other group. She took an image of herself and said, can you help me out? Is this the right kind of look? I'm going to this particular gig and I just need some advice. And the fact that she got that support in your group, I think that is phenomenal. I love the fact that there are groups out there that can support and help and just guide for those people who really don't have any fashion sense on how to actually show up for their business. So I love that. Go ahead and join that. And that's @Mums with Style. Go ahead and look for that up in Facebook. The other thing that I just want to alert you to, if you see at the bottom of the screen right now, is that Jennifer has a video series that you can go and tap into. It's a free video series. The actual address is in the scroller down below. So go ahead, tap into that. It's www.jenniferjonesstyling.com/rediscover-you-videos, and go and have a look at those. So, those are very, very, they're jam-packed with some ideas and tips on how to do that as well. The other thing that you can go and do is please go and hook into Jennifer, and it's @Jennifer Jones, _styling, and that's in Insta as well as Facebook. Go and join her pages.
Sorry, Lucille, it's not. Maybe I sent the wrong one to you. It's not an underscore. It's just Jennifer Jones Styling. I probably sent you the wrong thing.
Okay. Sorry, I beg your pardon. So it's not an underscore. It's just Jennifer Jones Styling.
It's really easy. All one way.
And go and look for her, and let her support you. All right. So thank you so much. Believe it or not, we've been chatting for over an hour. You have given us some awesome tips. Thank you so much, Jennifer. It's been my absolute pleasure to actually introduce you and to find out a little bit more about your brand. And not only that, I think as an entrepreneur, and especially as a mom entrepreneur, I can absolutely resonate with you. I love the fact that your business is growing and that you're evolving now into something that's totally different, but also in line with styling. And that's that decor side, the interior decor side, which I think is phenomenal. And as you step into this, I wish you all of the success. Really, I do think that you're going to grow as a brand. So an absolute pleasure having you on board.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. All right, I'm going to ask you to leave one thought. What is your quote, your creed, your motto? What do you want to leave all of the audience with? Just something from that's personal to you, or if it's a quote or whatever, I'm going to hand it over to you, Jennifer.
Okay. So think about what you love. That is the most important. If we wear what we love, if we surround ourselves, if we think about our interior, we think about our homes, we surround our things with what we love, surround ourselves with what we love, whether that be wardrobe items or what your environment, and we ultimately feel good. So that for me is the most important thing. Always consider what you love, wear what you love, be around people you love, and also have your surroundings in something that you love and are proud of.
Oh, that's so stunning. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time today. And thank you, audience. Thanks for showing up. Go ahead, if you want to, go and share this video with somebody that needs it. If there's a budding entrepreneur who really, really needs help with regards to styling or dressing, please do me a favor. Either tag them below in the comment section, in the public comment section below, or what you can do is share this video via Messenger with them and just alert them to all of the awesome tips and tricks that Jennifer has actually dropped for us today. More than that, thank you once again for hanging out with us. And yeah, we'll see you all soon. Cheerio.
Really
Bye.
Bye.